from caves to islands all the way to nuclear facilities and a secret vault that only contains seeds. Here are the top 10 heavily protected places on Earth no human is allowed to visit. Starting off in our number 10 spot, we have Mezhgorye. This is a location in Russia that finds its home in the Ural Mountains. This little town is top secret and is completely forbidden to any kind of visitor. This is said to be because the town is apparently home to Russia's nuclear missiles, and the rules are so strict that people aren't even allowed near the town or in its vicinity. There are also rumors that suggest this town contains Mount Yamantau, and that inside this mountain there is the Russian government's extensive bunker, making this just another reason why this town is completely cut off to anyone who isn't a very high-ranking official. In our number 9 spot today, we have the Lascaux Cave. This cave is located in France, and it got itself the title of being a UNESCO World Heritage Site after its discovery in 1940 due to the incredible prehistoric paintings that can be seen on the walls. Of course, this became a popular tourist destination, and people were jumping at the chance to see these works of art completed by the early humans, but as it turns out, breathing is not good for the art. The carbon monoxide that visitors were expelling was beginning to cause damage to these cave paintings, and of course, once they're gone, there's nothing we can do to get them back. This led to the site being closed to the public in 1963. Now, the only people allowed in are researchers and preservationists who work to make sure the art stays for as long as possible. In our number 8 spot today, we have Fort Knox. The Fort Knox vaults are home to most of the US gold reserves, and it's one of the most heavily guarded places on the entire planet. It's so heavily guarded, in fact, that there isn't one single person who can make it into the vault. This is because there are several combinations that need to be used, and no one knows all of them. There are various members of the staff who know just one of the necessary combinations, which means that without the help of their colleagues, and quite a few of them, there wouldn't be any way for them to gain access. In our number 7 spot today, we have the Vatican Secret Archives. This area is located within the Vatican, and it contains 53 miles of shelves that contain documents relating to the Catholic Church, some dating as far back as the 8th century. These archives contain things like a letter from Mary Queen of Scots when she addressed Pope Sixtus V, where she begged him to help save her from her fate. Some other documents in the archives include ones that detail and relate to the excommunication of Martin Luther. In 1881, these archives were opened only to researchers, but it's not exactly an easy task to get a pass. Anyone who applies and gains one will only have it for 3 months, however, and despite the massive size of the archives, no more than 60 scholars are allowed in at one time. In our number 6 spot today, we have the Svalbard Seed Vault. Deep within a mountain that sits in between Norway and the North Pole sits this vault that is more than 320 feet inside the mountain. This vault holds a massive collection of seeds. Like, we're talking about 890,000 different preserved seed samples from nearly every country in the world. The vault that holds these seeds is made to withstand both man-made and natural disasters, and the seeds inside are meant to be kept safe, so in the case of some sort of huge disaster, the seeds inside would ensure the continuation of a wide variety of diverse food options. The door to this vault is only opened a few times a year, and just a few people are allowed inside in order to deliver seeds to the shelves. In our number 5 spot today, we have DMZ. Despite what this name says and implies, the Korean Demilitarized Zone is perhaps one of the most militarized places ever. This is the location that marks the separation between North and South Korea, and it was established to serve as a sort of buffer zone between the two countries. There are tons of military facilities in this zone, and only high-ranking officials are allowed in. This is exactly what led to the creation of the Civilian Control Line, which is a line that created an additional buffer zone to the Demilitarized Zone, which is meant to further restrict access to any civilians or unauthorized personnel. In our number 4 spot today, we have Surtsey Island. This island was born in 1963. By that, I mean it emerged from the sea in that year just off of the coast of Iceland after 4 years of being formed by an undersea volcano. A brand new island? What could we possibly do with that? While I'm sure humans could find a million and one ways to ruin it, surprisingly we decided to not do that at all. Instead, this island was protected in order to allow scientists to study how new ecosystems form and what happens when there's no human involvement. This means that those who are permitted to go to the island have some super strict rules to adhere to, and it's not like just anyone is allowed to go. One of these rules is no seeds and no using the facilities on the island. The last rule is because one day when scientists found a tomato growing on the island, they were quite confused as to how. It turns out that somebody had gone number 2 not too long before, and thus a new poop tomato was grown from the ground. So let's slice of that for your BLT. In our number 3 spot today we have Snake Island. This island is located in Brazil and is one of the most dangerous in the entire world, and that is because it is absolutely filled with snakes. It is thought that Snake Island came to be when the snakes got trapped as a result of the rising sea levels, which disconnected this island from the mainland. The reason people aren't allowed to visit is obviously to protect the humans who want to go, but also to protect the snakes that live here, as some of them aren't seen anywhere else in the world, likely because of the lack of human interference. There's a critically endangered species of snake called a golden lancehead, and on this island there are about 4,000 of them, which is critical to the species continuing on. As of now, only a select few researchers and the Brazilian Navy are permitted to go to the island. In our number 2 spot today we have Zone Rouge. This area, also referred to as the Red Zone, is an area of France that is one of the most restricted on Earth. Located in northeastern France, it is said that this chain of uninhabited areas was completely destroyed after the events of the First World War. The area contains a mass amount of both human and animal remains, along with way too many unexploded weapons that have gone on to contaminate the surrounding water and land. This has led to the French government prohibiting any kind of activity in the areas that includes any sort of agriculture or settlement. I mean, I would not particularly want to risk it with the undetonated explosives, so it completely makes sense as to why this area would be restricted. In our number 1 spot today we have Pine Gap. This location is in Australia, and it is a heavily guarded and top secret facility. It is said that Pine Gap is actually a joint defense facility between the Australian and the United States governments. It is said that it is operated by both the CIA and NSA, and that it is strictly off limits to anyone not involved or given high security clearance. Apparently, at first this place was said to be a space research center, but now it has become abundantly clear that it is actually used to support the United States in both intelligence as well as military activities. If someone decided to trespass into this top secret area, it would undoubtedly put them in a whole world of trouble. Alright guys, that has been our list for today. Thank you so much for checking it out. I've been your host today, Olivia Kozlowski, and I'll see you next time. Bye! In our number 2 spot today we have Zone Rogue. This area, also referred to as the Red Zone. Oh, Zone Rouge, I'm an idiot.